So, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining me this afternoon for Managing Outlook. Again, I have this information right on your screen right now. Before I move on, this is your telephone number that you could call to just in case you will have some kind of audio problem as we go along, and take note of the access code so that you could access, the class. Now, let me just go over. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm so excited to start. I forgot to introduce myself. Good afternoon again and welcome. My name is Marites Macapagal. I'm part of the ODD from the Computer Training Group. So for today, we're going to do managing Outlook. And for our learning objectives, participants will be able to create rules to move email effectively. We're going to set delivery options for message, request a read receipt, manage outgoing mail by scheduling a later time and delaying them, and make efficient use of your calendar features to simplify setting up single and recurring appointments. We are also going to learn how to use calendar to create and send meeting requests and prevent attendees from forwarding a meeting. And then, of course, we're going to create and modify contact groups. I noticed that there's a question and about folders. Okay, so when we start talking about creating rules to move email effectively, I will cover folders in that segment. Okay, so let me start. I'm going to hide my video so that you could focus on the screen, and let me just talk to you about what to other things to expect. Oh, by the way, when at the end of the class, if not today or next week, I will be sending you this presentation. And in here are some references that you could actually use to be able to get some other written information. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So let me just minimize this. Okay. Oh, yes, you are going to get your, send me an email for any of those questions. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So once again, good afternoon. I would like to just talk about this briefly. You know, all of us have our email access, and basically, some of us acquire or get our email by getting it from, if you click on the start button, you have Outlook as part of the application that's on your screen. This is the Office 365 version, Microsoft 365 version of Outlook. And that Outlook looks like this. Okay, this is the Office 365 Outlook version. Some of you, if you are on your desk, on your table, you basically use this because it could easily be accessed. Some of us who are actually on the field prefer to use another type of Outlook. In our tents, we were given before MTA My Apps. Okay, so when you click on My MTA Apps, My Apps, it will actually bring us to this page. And in this page, you're going to be able to see some of the apps that are available for all of us. There you go. These are all the list of the available apps for all of us. So once this becomes available for you, you could select the app that you would like to use. And if you notice, one of them is Outlook. So you notice I have my apps already ready and prepared. So when you right click on it, you could add it to your collection and create my apps. And those are the applications that you will have for you available as part of your my apps. And if you notice on mine, I basically use Outlook apps, and then of course OneDrive, the OneNote, the Chronos, and the Teams. And of course, I have my Udemy. So I use that to be able to access my Outlook. So if I click on Outlook here from my apps, this is a different look. So compare the look of this application. This is the Outlook applications. Okay, this is the Outlook app. The other Outlook is this. Let me just switch. This is the Office 365 desktop version of Outlook. Are you able to see the difference between the two? But both of them works very well. It is just a matter of choice or preference of which one to look and use. Okay. I if you're going to ask me personally, I use this a lot. Okay. I use the app a lot. Why? Because I could easily be able to see all of those that I have actually pinned, okay, as a reminder for myself. And I could also easily see all of my emails that are coming in. So looking at this, the application that we have, you notice I am right now under the mail. You have it is group. I could actually view my calendar. I could also view the people or contacts, and these are the other options I could actually view from. So let me just go back here again on my inbox or on my mail. In the other view, okay, let me just switch again to the other view. In the, sorry, sorry. Okay, in the other Office 365 view, this is basically we have. Now notice I could switch the different views or the different page by going looking down at the bottom. This is my mail. This is my calendar. This is my people. This is tasks, and these are other things that you could actually see. Excuse me. Let me just sip some water. Sorry about that. Um, thank you so much, and my apology. Anyway, so look down here. You notice I have the three dots so that when I click on the three dots, I'm able to see my notes and my folders. And what somebody asked me about the folders, and you notice you could actually be able to view the different folders that I have actually created. Let me just show you how to create those folders to be able to organize your email. Yes, this presentation is actually recorded and it will be shared with all of you. Okay, so now take a look at this one. I have emails right here. And a lot of times there are certain emails that are currently recurring, okay, or currently getting into your email. For instance, I do various classes, and once people register for my class, I will be able to see and receive notification of the people who have actually registered, just like in this case, okay? You see how Christopher Blanchard I have received this. So I like receiving all of those. So I know more or less who have registered for my class, but I would like to organize them and put them in a folder so I could always look back if a particular employee have actually been registered in my class already. And if you notice, I have on my left are some of my folders where I have Outlook folders, OneNote. Can you see all of those? Excel overview. And I have a lot more folders. Okay, there you go, arranged alphabetically. So if I wanted to receive something, let's say I would like to create a folder where I could actually put all a folders or emails that I have received in a particular folder. This is what I do. Again, this is my 365, right? You could simply right click on it. You notice when you right click on a specific email, you would notice that you will have this pop up menu. And one of the option in here is actually move. I could move this to another folder. So if I would like to move this to another folder, you could actually see the options here, other folder, copy folder, or always move message in this conversation. There is also some other options that you could actually see right there in you could also create some rules. There you go. So rules, create rules, manage rules, and alert. So that's an option that we could do. So let me just pause for a few minutes and then let me just switch to the app so that you could see and compare. In the app, I have the same email. Okay, not this. This is the email. This is the app. And if I right click on this app, this is now the pop-up menu. Notice I have also here some option about moving, copying, okay? And if you go all the way down, you have other options just like delete, archive, mark as read, pin, ignore, report, block, view, and advanced action. So you could also have advanced action. In your advanced action, there's also an option to what? To create rules, okay? And when you create rules, notice how it create a rule for you. Look at this. Always move messages from Blanche, read Christopher. I am just going to use his email to me, assuming that Mr. Blanchard is my colleague in my unit and I frequently would be receiving email from him. So I would like to create a folder for all of the emails that I will be receiving from him. So I'm creating a rule already. Always move messages from Blanchard Christopher to this folder. Select a folder. When I click on the select a folder, you will see folders that you have right now. But since I have not created a folder, I could simply say create a new folder. If I know I have a folder, but I haven't seen it here because of the size of my drop down, I could always say move to a different folder until I find a folder. But in this case, I'm going to create a folder. So right now I'm demonstrating to you how to create a folder as I organize my email. So I will click on create a folder. Okay. And look, new folder name. So I would simply put here, um, I will put his name, Blanchard. So I know that's the name of the folder because the email that are messages coming from him will be in this folder. And I would simply click on save. Okay. So now when I click this and I will now start looking for, if you move to a different folder, there you go, you could now start looking for that folder that we created, okay, and it should actually be somewhere that I have. Let me just see. I have so much folder that's hard to look for it. Okay, so let me just make sure I type in BLANCHRD. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's actually right there. So there you go. Run this. So take a look. So it actually recognized that the folder is already existing. I verified it. So your rule was created that any email coming from him will actually go to a folder with the label Blanchard. So if I click on run this rule now in inbox, take a look. It's right now in my inbox. If I click on a check mark and I click OK, okay, so his email will actually be able to move to that folder. Okay, so that's how it actually works. Now, I have some other emails before that I have. If I wanted to, in another scenario, I have previously created an email for all of my managing outlooks. When I right click and I just wanted to move this to that folder, which is Outlook, I could also do it manually instead of automatically by selecting on Outlook and see how it actually move. Now, once I do it manually, right, in the future, you could actually be able to view your folders. There's your folders. There you go. So I expanded my folders and you could see all of the folders that I have in here. You see that? These are all the folders that Maritas have and they're all arranged alphabetically. So if you wanted to take a look, the ones that have numbers on the right indicates that those are the number of content that I have not even opened or looked into, but I know they are actually in that folder. So if I wanted to go back to them, I could always look back and see for myself the name of those who have actually registered for my class. So just like for instance, I have my mailbox here, or the folder here for MS Planner, which I had a class before. When I click on it, it will actually give me the list of all of those who have registered for my class that I could always use as my reference. Okay, so that's how you create a folder, and that's how you create rules. Now let's move on. And what if I would like to create rulings now for the delivery of my email? That's actually very, very important. You know, when you wanted to define the delivery options for all of your email. For instance, one, you would like to delay the email delivery. So you could delay the delivery of an email message. And when you do so, the message is not sent until the date and time you specify. So I am just going to cite to you an example. So if I click on new message, there you go. I have my new message right here. You could actually put the address to the person. So I'm just going to send it to my coworker, Rafael Tirado. And of course, I'm going to put here a reminder for him. And in my reminder and in my message area, okay, I would say, don't forget, uh, we have a meeting tomorrow. Okay, and tomorrow's date is November 11 at 10:30 a.m. So that's a reminder that I would like to send it to him. Now, where can I find my options? There you go. So if you notice, I click on the three dots, right? And I have here some other options. Can you see the options that I have? I could insert my signature from seat. Look at this, set importance. This is also very important. Some of the email that you would like to send, you would like to actually make it a high so that there will be a markation that it will actually be received with an exclamation point indicating it is an important email. So I could actually make it on high so he would not ignore it. Okay, so that's one that I could actually do. The level, that's what you call the level of email. And then you see show message options. When I click on show message options, so these are some of the things that we have and available for all of you. And they are also sometimes referred to as some options that you have when sending email. I will just discuss all of them at the same time. First, the sensitivity. Is this a normal, okay, a personal, private, or confidential email? So you could actually select. So if this is just something like private, okay, so that you don't want people to know that this is just for him. And if you wanted to make sure that the person will actually be able to read it, request a read receipt, put a check mark on it. So the moment he received the email, you will be able to get it. And then request a delivery receipt could also be one of the things that you could actually do. So it is delivered, and once they read it, that could also be what is the difference between personal and private person? It's basically almost the same if you say private and personal. So um I don't see that much of a difference that they in it. So it's just like both of them are private, are actually, for instance, for the work, but it's just for our unit. Personal is some kind of a personal message for your colleague. So that's basically what it is. Okay, so it's up to you on how you're going to be able to categorize it. Okay, so that's basically, oops, I lost it. Sorry. Okay, I'm just trying to show you first. So these are the options that you have in here. Let me just cancel here for the minute. And let me just show you on the other Outlook. mailbox. In the Outlook mailbox, the other one, the Office 365, if you're using the Office 365, when you create a new email message, there you go. Allow me to open a new email message. New email message. Okay. And here's my new email message. There you go. And in here, you notice I have what I have here. So again, I would send an email to Rafael Tirado. I don't need to do this because I know Tirado. There you go. And this is again a reminder. Okay, and a you know reminder tomorrow meeting at 10:30. Okay, and then I would say end of message, right? And take a look at my options here. If I click on options, this is now where you could find the other options that I have in the app. There you go. You have the tracking. I could request a delivery receipt. I could request a read receipt. Also, right here, you have, if you open this dialog box, it will give you additional options that I was showing you earlier. Settings, the importance, is it normal, low, high importance? Is it sensitivity? Is it normal, personal, private, or confidential? In here, okay, in delivery options, this is where you could also make some of this additional option. Remember, I said, if you do not want this to be delivered today, this is a reminder for our meeting tomorrow at 10:30. So I want Rafael to receive it tomorrow morning when he comes in so he could be reminded for our 10:30 appointment or meeting. So what I do in the delivery option, there you go. Do not deliver before. Put a check mark on that. So I don't want it to be delivered before tomorrow at 10:11. And I want it to be delivered in the morning when he comes in. He comes in at 8 a.m. Okay. So do not deliver before 11:11. That is tomorrow at 8 a.m. In that way, Rafael would actually be able to receive this not today, but tomorrow. So he would really be reminded about the meeting at 10:30. And when I close, okay, and I have made sure that I requested a delivery receipt and a request receipt, right? So you could actually be able to send it. And that's how easy it is to be able to send those messages. Okay. And if you also, let me see if I could actually, I'll show you later where to be able to find it, those outbox, so that you know that it's still going to be going out. So that's when you would like to have a pending. So you want to delay the delivery of your email. Okay, so that's what you do. Now, there are also other things that I want you to take a look at. So when you are sending a new email, there you go. Let me just go back again in here. So I went to options, and you notice you also have this. I could also open these options, and this is basically, you notice this is basically the same as what you have right here. So whether you open it from here or here, it will actually be able to do so. Now, you see these direct replies, you see? So if you would like to have reply sent to another person, okay, you send an email and you want them, once they reply, you want, let's say, your assistant or your intern to be able to receive the reply. This is where you actually indicated have reply sent to, and you select the name of the person. Okay, so you could get it from that listings that we have. So those are some of the things I would like to share with you, the direct replies to your information for your messages. Now, I'm looking if you have any other question. Oh, how long the email would stay in a folder before it's never deleted unless you delete the emails in your folder. If you are going to take a look at my folder, take a look. these are actually, I have what, tens and thousands of, you know, emails received from these people. Okay. So I have all of those. So it is not going to be deleted unless you delete it yourself. Okay. So take a look. I had, these are my deleted items, but some of my inbox, I have 1024. So it will never be deleted unless you delete it yourself. For the case email sent and same time for both me or the other person, get next day in. Um, uh, Hashmi, yeah, the the if I get your question right, yes, the the delivery time. Yes. So you have to remember when we requested for the delivery time, we actually have indicated, right? So when you have a new email, I'm just going to have a new email again just for you to be able to see. So when you are in your options, right, in here, so we say do not deliver. So you have the date and the time. Okay. But you could also put expiration on that. That's why there is expire after. So if the person did not notice it, it will also be, you know, expire on that occasion. Okay. So that's basically it. Now, one other thing I like, sorry for the noise. One thing I like about using the app, if you notice in my app, okay, um, let me just share with you my inbox. You see, I have all of this pinned. I could easily be able to see in my app, you know, those that I have plugged when I plug an email or put some kind of marcation in it. So, what is plugging an email? Plugin message identify it for further action by inserting a flag symbol on that. So, for instance, just like in this case, when you hover to your email, you notice you have the delete, you have make a read, you have this plug this message, and there's also the pin. I like pinning if I wanted to keep it on top of my list so I could be reminded about it. Or I also would like to do flagging, just like what I did here. Look at this, so that I could go back to it. If I'm still busy and but I wanted to go back to it, there's a plug. So if I would like to plug this, I could click on plug this message. If I would like to pin this, watch what will happen when I pin this message. When I hover my mouse on the pin, it says keep this message at the top of your folder. So take a look. I click on the pin with my left mouse, and there you go. It disappeared from my today's email. But if I scroll up, there you go. It's up there. It is plugged, okay, and it is actually pinned. So I don't have time to read it right now, but I could go back to it later on and I could actually remember it. So like we will have a town hall meeting and I don't want to forget it. So I actually plug it and I actually pin it on top of my mailbox. Okay. In that way, I will not forget it. It is a very good reminder for me, so it's up to you how you wanted it to be. Now, in an Office 365 on our desktop version, you could see it being plugged, but it's not going to be separated. You have to actually filter it. Take a look. See, no date, and then there's actually today. So all that's actually plugged. No. Okay, so that's what happens. You could actually be able to view it by clicking. That's why I said I like the way my apps actually work because it actually easily separate it. Okay, so I'm reading your questions as I go along. And oh, if you wanted to delete the message before you receive, yes, it could actually be um, deleted. Yes, it could actually be deleted. I am going to show it to you. Just let me just cover some of the things I need to cover for now, so I won't run out of time. But if not, I'm going to email it, or I'm going to send it to all of you the procedure on how to delete it, just in case you change your mind. Okay, so let's just go to the contacts. One of the other good things that you have is to create contacts. You wanted to create your contacts, and also sometimes you would like, it's easy to create contacts. What's good is how to create a group. Okay, so you could actually create your contact, and you could also create your group. So whether you are in the app or you are in your emails like this, right? You could also go here to your favorites. And then this is also where you could actually create. Now look on top. This is the Office 365. So on top, when I click on the people figure to be able to go to my contacts, notice on my toolbar, I have here under the home, new contacts for individual contact and new group contact. So when you would like to create a group, it's a lot easier to create a group. Let me take a look at the different groups that I have right there. I have some of my computer teams. When I click, would actually give you the list of all the different members of my team. Okay, I have so many groups here that I have used before. I have my orientation teams group. I have my, when I had a class, I have the Outlook in my 5522 class that I kept the some of the people in that list. There's you go. And so you could create a group. How do you create a group? So simply click on new contact group. So when you click on new contact group, you could put a name. So in this case, for instance, I'm just going, and I'm going to delete it later on. But in this case, let's say I am going to create this class. This is called Outlook. And today's date is Outlook class for November 10. Okay. So that's my name. So Outlook class group, Outlook class November 10 group. Okay. So how do I add names? Look here, I could add members. And if I look at this, I have here from Outlook contact, from address book. All you have to do is go over the list of all the people in your group. So I could actually select certain groups. For instance, I could have Rafael as my contact group. Okay, I will use his last name, Terrado. Easier to deal with it. And there's Rafael. I add it as a member. And I have Richard Roth. I'm going to use Richard Roth as another member. I'm going to use Shannon. Okay, I have Shannon James as my other group members right there. So I have this, and I have Miss Logan, okay, and Marcia as my other group member. So I made them as a group, and all of them, and I click OK, all of them are part of the group. So when I save and close, every time I would like to send an email, okay, so let me close this and let me switch to my email. And if I wanted to add a new email, all I have to do is click to, and in my to, right, you could actually be able to look for, instead of looking for, I could always go to my contact group. Okay, so where is all my contacts, all groups? And these are all the groups that I have. Oops, let me just, okay, there you go. Oops, it's actually not giving me the correct. Give me a minute. Okay, let me just go back. New image, and there you go. And I would click on my group. There you go. And here's my group list. And this is Outlook, right? So let's look for Outlook. Okay, My contacts, my contact groups. Oh, my email is acting up right now. Let me just say. Okay, there you go. Outlook class November 10 group. There you go. So I don't even have to specify every person, but if I expand, I see all of them right there. Okay. So if I would like to send an email to all of the people in my group, but I don't want them to see the other members of that group, I could put it that name, Outlook group, November 10 in the BCC. In that way, every person in that group could actually receive an email from me, but people would not know who else is receiving the email in that group. Okay, so that remains like a little bit confidential. Is that okay and understood to all of you? Now, once you are, again, let me just discard this. Okay, and let me go back here and take a look at my listings of my contact list. If I click on contact list, okay, yes, it is Janet. The answer to your question is yes. So take a look at my contact Outlook class November 10 group. That's the list that I created, correct? So if I would like to send an email to that group, I could also send an email with that approach and click on send email. If I would like to edit this list, I could click on edit this list. You see that? And when I have this, I could actually add email addresses to it. Okay. Or I could delete a particular person in the group if that person is no longer a member of that team. So let's say I would like to get rid of Marcia from the list. All I have to do is click on the X and she's gone from the list. Okay. And you could also add a new email by clicking here. I could add another person to the list and save it. And that's how easy it is. So I replace Marcia with Lisa Vernon. So that's basically how easy it is to be able. If I wanted to send a message, I could also click on send email and take a look. I could easily send an email to them and it's already out there to Outlook. So you would not actually miss anybody. Now, with this, right, if I would like to get rid of this group, all I have to do is select and look, there's an option here that says what? Delete. And yes, I would like to delete that from my list and it's gone. So it's no longer part of my Outlook. I got rid of that group already if I would like to do so. Another things I would like to show you is a calendar. And in the calendar, I would like to talk about three things. The difference between appointment and a meeting. Okay. So when you talk about appointment in Outlook terminology, appointment is a time slot that you reserve on your calendar and you do not invite other people to participate in an appointment. So that's the difference. So take a look at my calendar. I have a doctor's appointment and I place it there. So, and that's how actually you create an appointment. So, how do you create an appointment? Very plain and simple. You see, if I am in the Office app, you see new events, you all you have to do is click on it. And in here, you could actually be able to just type in the information. Okay. And let's say I have a doctor's appointment, Dr. Lee, and that's my appointment. And let's say the appointment will be on Monday, but it will be after work, but I wanted to put it in my calendar. It will be at 5:30 in the afternoon until 6, and then I could put my location. But notice, I did not invite anybody else. Yes. No. Can others see the appointment you set up so you won't invite you to meeting at the same time? Yes, you can. If you are actually going to put it like in some occasions, like you see where you have Presentative, put it as busy. Okay, so that people know that you are busy and you are actually in it. Now, so that's basically it. If you're going to, let's say you have an appointment you have a meeting appointment with somebody else, you could actually say, let's say I have a meeting with Lisa. Let's say Lisa is my manager, so I have my meeting with Lisa, and my meeting with Lisa is of course at during the work hour. It will be at 1:30 p.m. up to 2:30 p.m. There you go. That's my schedule. I'm not inviting people, but in my calendar, I would like to remind myself that I have a meeting with Lisa, and that's my appointment. And I could put it here as busy. Okay, in that way, people would see that I'm busy. Now, look at this. This is also, I attend. This is only when you have setting up a meeting, but these are some of your options to be able to indicate that you are creating. So let me save it. This is 11:14, right? So I kept it on my Misty. Now, I just wanted to share this with you. I created categories for myself so that if there are certain things, depending on what I do, if it's like a personal meeting, if I'm on at that moment, I'm doing some development time for my class, or if I'm teaching, or if I'm involved in a project, I could categorize what's in my calendar. So it will be color coded. Okay, it will be color coded. So that's basically what it is. So if that is meeting with Lisa is about development time, I could click on it and you notice how the color would change, right? And if I save this, so that will be at 1:30, I save it. Look at next Monday on the 14th and look at the color that I have here. Okay, and look at this color that I have here. This is a class that I'm going to have, and I color coded this also. This is just like an appointment for me, and in my category, I put it under computer class. That's why it has actually that color. So when you look at your calendar, everything is color coded for you, and you will be able to see it, you know, in your calendar. So that's an appointment. Now, once you're inviting other people, it is now considered a meeting. So when you're creating a meeting, again, you click on new event, you put in the name of the title of your meeting, you invite the people in your meeting, and then of course you could type your agenda here. You could indicate the room number if it's going to be an in-person. However, if it's going to be Teams, there you go. You see Teams meeting? So you click this to make it a Teams meeting. So let's say this is like a follow-up meeting, okay? And that will be, let's say let me select a date. This is going to be today, but it will be at 2:30 in the afternoon, okay? And it will be from 2:30 and it will be a Teams meeting. And I'm going to just invite Rafael, okay? And that's my invitation to him. I could add another person and I could just put the agenda here, and I could send this invitation, but it will appear in the Teams meeting. So if I click send, look at the difference. If I send this to that meeting, right? And there you go. This is a regular meeting with Lisa. Take a look. There's nothing in it. It's just like the blocking of the schedule, correct? Now for my Teams meeting for today, let me just go back. So I created the meetings with Rafael today at 2:30 in the afternoon, and that is this one. If I double click on it and I expand to it, look at this. Because I created a Teams meeting, it gives you now this Microsoft Teams meeting. So people who would receive the invite knows that when it's time, they could join the Teams meeting with you. Okay. And that's the difference when you are setting up the meeting. Okay. So that's basically the difference. Now, the other type of uh, things that you schedule that you put in your calendar is what you refer to as an event. What is an event? an event could be a single or a multi-day event. So when you talk about event in Outlook, it is an activity that lasts for a period of 1 or more days that can be added to the calendar. For instance, it can also be, by the way, it's also good to note, it could be something also recurring. Okay, so for instance, when do you use events? When you have workshop, when you have conferences, when you're attending seminars, okay? Birthdays and anniversaries are also events that you could put in your calendar, okay? Or certain occasions, like for instance, this is like a Thanksgiving gathering for your team. So let's say as a manager, you always would like to uh, give like a Thanksgiving, a pre-Thanksgiving gathering for your team. So in this case, let's say we could actually schedule, because a lot of people take off few days before the Thanksgiving. So we will have it on Monday, and it will be from 12 p.m. So I will double click on it, and that's the scheduled time I would like to. So I could just have a pre-Thanksgiving, okay? Thanksgiving. Okay, so I would have this as my pre-Thanksgiving. Now take a look. So this could repeat, because probably I would like to make this official every year. So if I click here, you see that I could have it on a yearly basis, and I could say start on November 21st or on the third Monday of November. That's what I wanted, because it might not be on November 31st, but on every third Monday of November, I would click on save. So it will actually be recurring, and that will be a pre-Thanksgiving. So when I do that, I could just say, I could send the invite to people, or I could just leave this in my calendar for people. So once you save this, right? And it will actually be on there you go, pre-Thanksgiving, and that could actually be an event for all of you. Okay, so that's an event that you could actually have. So if you wanted to mark it as a full day also, you could actually do so. You could edit this, and you say edit all occur, see this and all following events, or all events in this city. So every year it will be there. And I could mark it not only at 12 p.m., it could be an all day event, so that you could just invite people and tell people, remember, every third Monday of the month of November for every year will be our pre-Thanksgiving for our team. So that's basically what you do. And you say to people, if I make it a full day thing, that will actually be shown on top of the date for every year. So if you basically decide to go and check 2023 in November, okay, and that will be 1 to 3rd Monday, there's a pre-Thanksgiving on November 23. That's a Monday, November 20th. See how beautiful? You could actually easily create that for yourself. Um, how you can do that with Outlook. Oh, so that is basically, I am doing this right now. Oh, sorry. Let me just close this. Okay. I am using my app. So if you wanted to see it right here in your regular, there you go. If you are in your calendar, it's the same thing. You go to your calendar, look at my calendar, how colorful it is. Okay, so I have all of this. Let me just turn off some of my calendar options. There you go. So these are my calendars, okay? And these are the different colors. The same thing. It doesn't matter where, I have color coded, as I've mentioned to you. When every time I create my meetings, I have it here. Now, the difference with the Office 365 app, you could easily create a meeting when it's a Teams meeting, because you see it here, Teams meeting. So if I click on Teams meeting, it will open up your option to create a Teams meeting, and you could select the date and the time of your meeting. That's how easy it is when you're using the Office 365 desktop version. Okay, you could also either select the new appointment, which I have shown you, the new meeting, and in here you could create a new image, message, appointments, meetings, and all of those options. And if you see more items, these are recurring appointment, recurring meeting, recurring event. Okay, so those are the things that you could actually do. So I think I have covered everything for the things that we have to do. Now, also, when you are creating a new meeting message, there you go. So you have also here some of your. Did I talk about the signature for those of you who have not set up a signature? If you wanted to set up a signature for your messages, you go to a blank message and you click on signature, and you could create your signature in here with your name, with the informations that you have. Okay, so those are basically what you could actually do. That's another things that you could actually do. So again, if you wanted to be able to do that, if you wanted to put in your signature, these also have, you notice you have your follow-up, high importance, low importance are also in here. Again, if you go to options, this is basically what you have. By the way, not all the time you see the BCC. So if you wanted to have the BCC appear, you could actually get it from here. And if you wanted the prompt to always appear, you could. So these are options that are up, that you could actually change every now and then for your messages. Okay. And when you are also setting up, okay, let's say setting up a meeting, look at this is Office 365 desktop, okay? So you also have your categories that I was showing you a while ago in the app. So these are all the categories, and you could actually even create categories. That's how you create categories that I was showing you earlier. If you need more details for that, I could show you or send you the step by step if you wanted to learn how to create those categories. Again, you also have here the option to send your Teams meetings if you would like to send a Teams meeting. There you go. So this is your Teams meeting option. And automatically, because I selected the Teams meeting, this actually appears. So anybody who will be receiving this could actually be able to receive it. Okay, so that's basically how you could actually categorize your options. Now, take a look. I wanted to remind you, this is the last topic before we go. It's almost 2 o'clock. Sometimes the moment you create a meeting, you do not want the participants to forward the meeting invite to other people aside from the people that you have sent the invitation. So there you go. In the, okay, once you are in setting it up, okay, under the attendees group, there is a response option. If you click on the drop down arrow, what are the options available? Request response, that's good. You needed to do that. Allow new time proposal. If you would like your teammate to send you the time proposal, allow forwarding. Okay, by putting a check mark, you are allowing the attendees can forward this meeting to invite other people. But if you don't want people to invite other people to the meeting that's not part of your group, turn it off. So there's no check mark in it. They cannot allow people anymore. Okay, so these meeting invite, once you send it to the attendee, cannot be forwarded to other people. That is a good things to remember when you are putting or scheduling a meeting, whether it is a Teams meeting in MS Teams or it's an in-person meeting that you have set. Okay, and that's basically it for now. So I think it's 2 minutes before 2 o'clock. So these are some of the reference that I'm going to share with you, and I will just be once again, let me, okay, stop sharing so that I could see you. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Again, send me all your questions if you have any questions via email so I could respond to you quickly. And for those other questions that I was not able to respond to you this afternoon, send it to me via email, marites.macapagal@nycity.com, and the recording will be posted in the Transit University soon. And all the deck will be available for you. I will email it to all of you who have participated this afternoon. And once again, thank you so much for joining. Have a pleasant afternoon and enjoy your Veterans Day tomorrow. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you.